Yeah, good afternoon, children. This is Krishna from JNV Pondicherry. And
Sir, one more thing, sir. Upon your slide, one small screen is coming. That slider, you close that.
yeah, this one.
Yes, sir. Close it. Sir.
Right. Okay.
Fine,
Okay.
sir.
Right.
Continue, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, children. This is Krishna from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Pondicherry, and I am here to handle today's topic, that is data handling. It is related to Python programming, and in this session we will have a interaction with string, list, and dictionary. We will see all the three kinds of data types. Apart from this, there are some other data types are also available, like a integer, like a float, like a complex, but we will discuss on these three data type in this session. So I hope you are preparing for exam, because our exam is still in a pending situation, and we are waiting for our exam, and we will see. This is first time CBSE children are going to write Python programming. So let us start. So let us see what is a string. Everything, whatever you will talk, you will write, you will fill on a text field, you will type on Google, everything is a text. In Python also, a sequence of character is called as a string. String is always enclosed in either single quote, double quote, or triple quote. Single quote, in other programming language, the single quote is called as a character, but in Python it is not called as a character, it is called as a simple string. Either it is double quote, single quote, or triple quote. When you want to write multiple lines, you cannot write multiple lines using single and double quote. You can write multiple line using triple quotes only. So this string is a data type where you can enter any kind of character. It may be a alphabet, it may be a number, or it may be any kind of symbol, but it must be enclosed in either single quote, double quote, or triple quote. The string must be more than 0 character, otherwise it will be an empty string. Dear student, if you are writing something blank, okay, it is an empty string. You must have to write more than 0 character, then only it will be treated as a string, not an empty string. So let us have an example. We will see that how we can find whether it is empty string or it is a string with data. So we will see here. You can see I have declared one variable called as a string, and I have given empty inverted comma. So you can see when the moment you will print it, it will print nothing. Are able to see? So this is called as a empty string. You must have to put something. Yeah, now you can see this is not an empty string. So this is an example of empty string, and this is an example of string having the data. Let us come back to the PowerPoint. In Python, the strings are immutable. Definitely there is a question in your mind. Immutable. We can change the string, but in Python, it is a immutable. You cannot change. Once it is created, you cannot change the string. If you want to change the string, you must have to declare some other variable, and you have to assign the previous variable data into the new variable. That's why this is called as a immutable. So dear student, immutable, we will have an example on immutable. Let us see an example. So this is a variable and I have a value in this variable is this, you can see, and I want to change this value. So let us have a change. Yeah, just a minute. So we will have an example later. Just a minute. There is some issue. Right. So now I will give you some of the example of string. You can see these are the example of string. Enclose in double inverted comma, enclose in single inverted comma. Even inside the string also there is a single quote. If you want to write such type of string, you must have to enclose in double inverted comma if you want to write single inverted comma. And if you want to write double inverted comma inside the string, then you can enclose this too with a single inverted comma. One more thing, student, you have to remember the inverted comma combination must be similar. It should not be either a single and double or single a triple will not accepted in Python programming. Whatever you will write inside the double inverted comma treated as a string. You can see here it is written 1 2 3 4 5, but it is treated as a string because it is enclosed in double inverted comma. Even in this example also you can see that 1 2 3 4 5.56. Okay, but it is not a float value, it is an string value. So unlike many other languages, both single character enclosed in quotes such as a double quote or a single quote or multiple characters such as these types of character are treated as a string literal in Python programming. Now we will see the next example where we can create some of the strings and we will check out the types of string. Now you can see there are different types of string is available. One is called as a single line string. Single line string, whatever you will write in a single line is called as a single line string. If you write something in a paragraph, it is called as a multi-line string. Example is there. You can see the example. So you can see in this example itself, I have written str is equal to NIOS. Now you can see this is an example of single line string. Again, another variable I will declare string 2 is equal to, you can see a single inverted comma I am going to use here. And this is also an example of single line string. So dear children, you can easily understand whatever written in single line is called as a single line string. Even if you have written like this, okay, so you can see this will show you error. You cannot write multiple line by writing either a single inverted comma or double inverted comma. So dear children, this is called as a single line string. They must terminate in one line called single line string. This is an example I have given. String is a variable. I have given JNV Pondicherry and I have pressed enter, but I will get error. Just now you saw that I am getting error. Now, the next one is called as a multi-line string. If you want to store multiple line text, you can use multi-line string using triple inverted comma. So many times, suppose if you are dealing a Google form and we are filling our name, our father name, mother name, when the time will come for address, we need to put multiple line data. How to handle multiple line data? So the programming language will do with the help of triple inverted comma. Let us have an example. Now you can see I have given triple inverted comma and I am going to write now you can see you are not getting any error. I am in next line, but in previous example you have saw that I got error because I have lose the one double inverted comma here, but I am not getting any error here. I can press one more enter and I can type anything, whatever I want, and I can close this. And now this is an example of multiple line string. So dear children, just now you saw if you put 3 inverted comma, then you can type multiple line data and multiple line result also you can display. Let us see how the result will come. So let us print the string str and we can see this is printing a multiple line data. Right, now let us continue with slide. Now, there is a question when a programmer is going to design a program to access data, to input data from user side, how it will be accessed by a program. So let us see, each character of a string can be individually accessed by using its index. We will discuss about index. What is index, as you have already learned in your previous classes, but we will revise it here again. So now you can see I have given an example where my string is Python double inverted comma. So how it will be indexed in Python, let us see. Now you can see the string is index Python. This is called as a backward index where the last value is called as a -1, second last -2, and so on. And if you go for the forward index, the first value of first index number is called as a 0. So don't be surprised, student, if it is displaying 0, nothing is there. In Python programming, the first character of a string is in a position of index number 0. And the last character you can see in this example, the last character of our string is number 5. But actually we are having how many character? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see we are having 6 character, but as per the index, we are getting only 5. This is the rule of string accessing in Python programming, where it will be indexed like that. Now we are going to learn how to access the string. The syntax to access the string is this. First, we have to type a variable and we have to type a index number. For example, I am having a string. Are you able to see? I am having the string informatic practices enclosed in double inverted comma. So this is called as a variable and this is called as a actual data. Now let us see how the data will be accessed. Let us have an example. Suppose I have created a string str and I have assigned a value for the string is JNV Puducherry. Right. Now you can see the index number of j is 0, the index number of n is 1, and index number of v is 2. Are you able to catch my point? Right. Now how to access the index? So we will write str. We will have an index number, whatever index number I want to display. I will type the index number and I will press enter. Now you can see I am getting v. So I think you understood. This is the very simple way to access a single character from a string. You can access not only single character, you can access multiple character, you can jump the character. Everything is possible while using the Python programming. Now you can see this is an example I have written for you. String informatic practices. I am going to access the index number 5 value. You can count it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and M. M is the index number 5 value. Same time, any index can be accessed, either it is a positive index or it is a negative index, anything can be accessed. You have saw in previous example, I am directly displaying through the help of variable name and index number. And here I am using a print keyword, and a variable name and index both will produce same result. Now, this is an example of negative value or backward indexing. Now I have given 10. Just to go back to the string, this is our string, and come back to the last value and count it -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. And you can see you will get your result. Let us have a live example. So I have given, I will write minus value and I will write some minus digit and I will check it. I'll get my result. So this is very easy to access any value or any character from the string data type. Either it is negative or positive, both can be accessed very easily. One more example I will give you. Now you can see I have given -11. Now empty space, whatever you have given, empty space, that is also treated as a character if it is in between, before the string or after the string. Now let us discuss about the string operators. There are basic operators like a plus, like a multiplication, in and not in operator, which can work with string data type. Operator, dear children, you know very well, there are so many operators are available, like a plus, minus, multiply, divide, module, percentage, which can apply on number value or float value. But when you want to apply some operator on a string value, then you can go for two operator. One is called as a plus operator, which is a concate operator, which join two string together. Another one is multiplication, which is called as a replication operator. It will repeat the given string into several times. Whatever value you will assign, that many times it will repeat. And in and not in, they are also the operator will find the string or substring is available in the data or it is not available in the data. Let us have an example. So first we will talk about the string operator plus. This operator create new string by joining two or more string. It is also known as a concatenation operator. You can see this is an example I have given, 12 plus 12. Don't be confused. This 12 and this 12 both are not enclosed in double inverted comma. So they will result 24. Are you able to catch my point? When we will write any value without inverted comma, then normal mathematical calculation done. When we write the value in double inverted comma or single inverted comma or triple inverted comma, then only the string operator concate will work. So in second example, I have written 12 and again I have written 12, but both are enclosed in double inverted comma. Now you can see the result is coming 12, 12. Okay, so 12 plus 12, 24, but here also 12 plus 12, 12, 12 answer is coming. This is why, because this is a string type of data type. This is not a integer data type or a float data type. Right. For example, if we write 12, suppose 120 plus 120 simply will get 240. But if we write this value 120 plus 120, then you can see we'll get this answer 120, 120. You can try some of the example by yourself for understanding, better understanding. We will continue with next slide. Now, one more thing you have to remember that a string can concate with another string only. It can never concate, or it cannot concate with any number value. Both must be the same value. If you type different value, you will get this type of error, that this concatenate can be possible with the help of string only, not with the integer value. Now, children, let us discuss about the multiplication. That is called as a replication operator, and it will replicate the string. Let us see how it will replicate the string. Now, I have written, suppose I have declared a string is equal to some data. Are able to see? This is a string. If I apply string multiplication operator, if I apply multiplication operator, I apply 3 times. Now you can see the result is coming some data, some data, some data 3 times. So dear children, you understood that the plus operator will concate the string, only string, not an integer and string. And the multiplication will replicate the string several times. That many number what you have given in a question, that many time it will replicate the string. Right, now let us discuss about the string operator in. In and not in operators are called as a membership operators. Membership operator, membership in the sense of they will find whether the substring is available or a part of membership of a string, actual data, or we have to find out the part of actual data with the help of substring using in operator or not in operator. It return true if the character or substring exists or match in the given string, and if it is not existing, it will return false. Many time it is applicable in a day-to-day life programming. So let us have an example. String. I have created a string. Okay, let's see the example available in slide itself. Yeah, you can see this is an example. I have given string online classes and I am going to find O in string. You can see this is available. O is available in string and I will get an answer as a true. So another example I will give you. You can see I am having P twice and now I want to find out the P, the position in string. What result will come? Let us see. Okay, because it is available 2 times, it will take first occurrence. Now you can see it is available P, right? So it is taking P as a true. Whether it is available many time, no problem. It will find out the character which is available or not. Another example I will tell you. Suppose P is available and I have given O. Are able to see this one? But you can see this is not available in the given string. I'll get result false. Do you understood my point? When the string is available, when the character is available, this character is available. Apple P is available in Apple, but O is not available. So we are getting, because this is not a part of this membership. Okay, so we are getting false. Right. Not in operator. So the same thing is there. If you understood the in operator, then definitely you will understand the not in operator. It will return if the character or substring does not exist in a given string. True, it will return. If it is existing, then it will display false. Example. Right. Let us have an example. So we will write it here. As just now you saw that PO is displaying false. Let us give an example with PO itself. PO in string. Okay, I have given in string. No, we have to give not in string. Now let us check out. So we'll get it true. Okay, the same thing is there. Again, if you give P Okay, if you give not in string, then we will get it result as a false, but actually the P is existing in the string. So we can see this membership operator, which is helpful for finding the data, whether the data is a part of this membership or not, existing or not. If it is existing, it will display true or it will display false. Now we will continue with the string slices. Do you remember what is the meaning of slices? Yeah, if you take an apple, if you cut it in a small pieces, that pieces is called as a slice. If you take a mango, watermelon, whatever you will take, you will divide into parts called as a slice. Same thing is there in string also. When you want to access data in a particular way, you can go for string slices. Now, in English term, it is called as a part of. Just now I have explained you a piece of or a part of. In Python, it's the same slicing or part of the string using a range function. The range function can be used to extract the string or slice the string. Now let us see the structure. What is the structure? The structure is like that. This is called as a string variable where some data has stored. This is called as a starting point. This is called as a end point, or you can say this is a lower limit. This is called as a upper limit. Dear children, you have to always remember, as you already remember, that the upper limit will be always ignored. It is applicable not only in string data type, it is applicable on list data type and whatever data type tuple is available. Wherever indexing is there, the upper limit will be always ignored. Okay, let us see an example. Same, we will take the same string, which is an apple. We will write it here. String, we will have a starting point and we will have a end point. Let us see what result will come. So we are getting result as a P P. Right, I will explain you with the help of a small example. This example we will repeat for jump statement also. For example, I am having some of the string where the start point, end point and step is available, that we will see. This is an string AMAZING and you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the index. Now we have to always ignore this upper limit. When we are going to write exam, computer will be not there. So we have to do it manually. We will ignore it. Okay, and we will see the starting point. As you can see, this is called as a starting point, and we will see the starting point result, which is M. According to this, here also, you can see in this example. Right, this is an example. I have given a string amazing. I have started from index number 3. I am going to stop on index number 6, but it will stop before itself. Means 6 index number 6 will not display as a result. So you can count it 0, 1, 2, 3. It is coming. The result will display like that. So it is simply, it will ignore the upper limit. The slicing is possible not only using the positive value. Okay, it can be used backward indexing also. I have given -7 and -3. You can start it from last value. You can start it from last value. Last value, upper index, you can write -1, -2, -3, -4. According to this, you can write it and you can get your result AMAZ. In string slice, you give the slicing range in the form of begin index and last index. You can skip anyone. Yeah. One more thing I want to explain you, that this limit or index number, upper limit and lower limit index number, can be ignored. What do you mean by can be ignored? Let us see. I have given starting point, but I have not assigned the end point. When the moment you will type it, you will get entire string. You will get it entire string. So you can see I have not given the end point. It will take all the character. Same thing is there in next example. You can see I have given not a starting point, but I have given the end point. I have given end point as a 6. Let us give a less value, and I have given the end point 3. You can see I am getting 0, 1, 2 because the upper limit got ignored. So this what I want to explain. Whenever you will go for string slice, you have to assign the index number. If you will not assign the index number, if you put a colon in between the index number, you can understand the index number will be a beginning position or at the end position. So in this example, I have given, you can see I have given 3 and I have given colon. I am getting this result ZING. Again, I have given 3 before colon. There is no value. I am getting AMA. So just now we saw in this image we saw these are the value. We can use the jump. We can use the jump statement whenever we want to jump from one value to another value or more than one value, more than two value, then we can use the step. So this is 2. Are you able to see this 2? This is a step or a jump number. How many times you want to jump from the given string character result? Now, this is the example I have given just now. This is the string and we have to ignore the last one and we have to see the first element. This is M. We have to jump it. This character we have to jump and we have to go to the next character. Suppose here 3 will be there, then we will jump 2 character. We will move to the third character. And again we will jump from one more character and we will go for the next character and we will get result as a MZN. You can try with your computer to see whether it is working or not. You can use positive value or you can use negative values also. So this is the easiest way to understand the step function. Right, dear children, this is a quiz. If you want to write, you can write it. I have given word, any string variable where any value you can assign, any string value you can assign. There is a starting point. I have given index number 2 and after that there is no value. Same time I have given the second example, second question, where I have given this type of value and comma another type of value, and I have used this plus operator. We have to join this thing, the result we want to join. And again, one more example I have given. And the last example or last question, I have given negative value and positive jump. You have to try this question and you can understand all the slicing of your string type of data. Right. Now we will learn. There are so many inbuilt functions are available which can be applied on your string data type. These functions are highly reliable and tested. When the moment you will press any dot with the string data type or with the string variable, you will get a huge list of methods or function. I want to show you one thing. When you go to the Python shell and suppose this is the variable string and I have pressed dot. You can see I have just now pressed a dot and you can see a huge list of functions and methods got displayed. Capitalize, center, find, format, is lower, is title, and split. Many functions have displayed here. All right, let us come back. Have an example. This is a variable name. This is a data. Again with variable name, I have used dot upper with a bracket. Right. So you can see what it is called? This is called as a variable. This is actual data, and this is called as a function, right? So just now I have displayed you that lot of functions are available. Like this is, suppose this is a string. When the moment you will press dot, automatically the list of functions will come, and you can try it, and you can see some of the function which is covered in your syllabus that I will display you here in next few slides. Now let us discuss about the function which is called as a capitalize. What it will do, it will return the copy of string with its first character capitalized. Right, you can see I have given the string true, right? This is a string. Let us see the live example. Okay, capitalize, sorry, CAPA. Right, you have to put a bracket. Now you can see in our actual string, it is written as a small letter first, but now we are getting a first letter as a capital. Again, when the moment you will print the string, it will not change the actual data. So now you can see this is an example of immutable. Are you able to catch my point? In first few slide, I told you that I will explain you. Automatically it has come. When the moment you will apply some of the changes on your string, it will not actually change the string. It will just change the string for displaying the result, but only in a result only. Actual data will never change. Just now you saw in my example, the actual data is same only, right? So this is called as a capitalize function, right? It will create a first character as a capital, and it will return as a result. Now in second example, you can see I have created a variable value. I have assigned the value as a true. I have given the capitalize, and I am getting result as a true. First T is a capital letter. Right. This is the another function, another method which you can apply with your string, which is called as a find. Right. It will return the lowest index in the string where the substring found. Right. You can see I have given a is equal to the suppose some value I have given, and I am going to find this value pu. I am going to find pu. You can see index number 0, 1, 2, 3 is empty, and 4 I am getting result. The p is occurring here. Okay, the pu is occurring here. If it is not occurring, then it will display some error or some kind of issue. We can also have a start and end to find the function. You can write it string.find. You can write it substring, what string you want to find, start and end. Let us have an example. str is equal to some data I have given, and now I want to find, right? I want to find str. Let us find is equal to str is a variable, sorry, string, string is equal to some data. Please try to understand, this is a keyword, reserve keyword. Okay, what I want to find, I want to find, okay, I want to find om, right? Now I will write what I will write. I'll write, see here, I'll write string dot find. So what is the variable name? This is the variable name, string dot find. What I want to find, this I want to find. Okay, and I am getting result as a 1, index number 1. Again, find 2. What I want to find, I want to find a. You can see the a is occurring 2 times. Right, so I will write the same thing. string dot find bracket open find 2. Let us see. Right, we are getting 6. Count it. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you can see it is available on 8th position also, but it will not display on 8th position. It will only display the first occurrence of the character. Right. So now we will continue with a small break. Right. Thank you. Sir, Pramod sir. Pramod sir. So dear children, whatever I have covered, it is very helpful to understand the advanced concept of data handling in Python programming. Okay, let it be. Let it continue, no issue. Right. Let us have another function which is called as a string dot is alpha numeric. Right. It will check the string whether the given string is having alphabet or number, anyone. It will find anyone, whether it is alphabet, whether it is number value, it will display true, otherwise it will display you false. Now you can see I have given a string. The value is 1 to ABC. You can see all the characters are having character and numbers. So when the moment you will give is ALNUM, you will get it true. Again, I have given JNVP, right? Again, it will get true because it is having alphabet, right? I have given string 3 is equal to empty inverted comma and I am getting false because in this empty string, no number value and no string value. Means no ABCD type of value, alphabet value and no numerical value. That's why we are getting the false. Otherwise, all the time we'll get it true value. All right. In this function, we can find out whether the characters are alphabet or not. Right. If it is alphabet, we'll get it true. If it is not alphabet, we will get false. Do you understood? When number value is there and if you apply this alpha, then you will get it false. Let us have an example. Suppose I have given string dot alpha, sorry, is alpha, right? And I'm getting false. Right, please check it again. Let us declare a string. String is equal to some value. Now we will check it. String dot is alpha. We are getting true because we are having alphabet. Okay, another example, another variable, string is equal to, I have given 1 to km, right? And let us check it what result will come. String dot is alpha, right? We'll get it false because it is not containing this string example is not containing only string data. Sorry, only character data, alphabet data. It is containing alphabet data as well as number data. That's why we got this type of result, false result. Now, this is the next function, which is called as a string dot is digit. It will return true if the character in a string are digit. There must be at least one character. As we understood the alphabet, we can easily understand the digit must have a digit. Okay, at least one character digit must be there. It will display true, otherwise it will display you false. Okay, the next function is string dot is lower. It will return true if all character in a string are in a lower case, only in a lower case. In first example, you can see I have declared a string is equal to hello and all the characters are lowercase. I am getting result as a true. But in second example, some characters are in a lowercase and some characters are in a uppercase. So I am getting result as a false. And third example, all the characters are in uppercase. I am getting result as a false. So you can understand by doing practical with these types of function, and these function will give you the accurate result. Now the next function, string dot is space. This function will see whether there is a space or not. Now in first example, you can see I have given a string is equal to hello JNV, and okay, this is displaying false, right? Because you can see the empty white blank character. Okay, it is also counted. Second example, I have given each character having the space. I am getting false result. In third, I have given some character space, some character are linked with each other. Again, I am getting the result as a false. In fourth, I have given string 4 and I have given the empty inverted comma without any blank space. I am again getting result as a false. But in last example, I have given the empty inverted comma with some white space. Are able to see there is a 3 character space is there, and I am getting a result as a true. So this is the function which is written true if there is a only space in a character. At least one space should be there. Now there are some more functions are available like a is upper. This will return if all the characters are given string is only in uppercase, true it will return, right? String dot lower, it will return true. Okay, it will return the copy of string in lowercase only. String dot upper, it will return the copy of string in uppercase. String dot else strip, it will remove the leading white space. Leading white space. What is the meaning of leading white space? You can see if suppose I have written any string, for example, I have written any string, you can see I have written 1, 2, 3 space. This is called as a leading space. I have written a string. Again, I have given a space and I have closed the string. This is called as a and space, right? So this is the thing when you will give else strip, it will remove the leading white space. If you give R strip, it will remove the trailing white space in a string and result the copy of string. One more thing you have to remember, whenever you will apply this R strip and L strip function, okay, you will get a result. If beginning space is there, okay, you will get a result, but at the end some space is there, you will get it the same answer. Same answer in the sense of you cannot justify whether the end space is removed or not, but actually it is got removed. All right, so we have covered so many function of a string. Some of the examples are there. String, I have given JNV Puducherry, I have given L strip, or I am getting the same result, and I have given R strip. Okay, I am getting same result. In third example, I have given the beginning space. L strip will get the same result, and R strip, okay, the beginning space will be available, but the end space will be get removed. Please remember in R strip, the beginning space, if there is any space, it will be available. It will not go until you will not apply the L strip function. Right. Now, one more function we are going to discuss here. Right, it is not an inbuilt function, but still you can apply. If you want to find out the length of the given string object, then you can use the len function. Okay, but still we can use it in the following way. For example, string is equal to some string I have given Jawahar. Then I have declared one more variable length. Then I have given len function. Then I have given the variable name string. When the moment I will print it, I'll get it the string. Sorry, I'll get it the length. What is the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 character length. I will get it. Have an example. String is equal to some data. Okay. Another variable we will use it here, which is length is equal to len string. Okay, you can check it. And this is the result. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty space, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the simple way. This is the simple way to find out the length of the given string with the help of len function. And it is not a inbuilt function, or it is not an inbuilt function of the string, but still we can use it using some other variable. What is the meaning of inbuilt function? Just now we have discussed that if you will type something, suppose a variable name you have to type string and dot, then you can see. Okay, check it whether len is available. Type L, lower L strip, right? But len is not available. That's why if you want to find out the length, you can easily find using the len function. Right. Now we will continue with the next topic, which is list. This is another type of data or a container where you can store value, not only similar value, but different types of value. Different types of value in the sense of you can store number value, you can store string value, or you can store any float value together in a square bracket. That's why we are using list. When we are going for advanced programming, we are using list. Right. Last time we discussed that the string is immutable, but please remember the list is mutable. Right. Do you remember immutable? We cannot change the actual data. But in mutable, you can change the actual data into another type of data or another value. You can replace the value. You can add a new kind of value. You can remove the value. Whatever functions are possible, you are able to apply on the data type. So always remember, dear children, the square bracket is denoting the list. If anything is existing inside the square bracket, you can find out easily that this is called as a list. Now these are the example I have given. This is the variable name, and I have created a list 246 at enclosed in square bracket. Always one value will be always separated with another value by comma. That you have to be always remember. In second example, I have given only empty square bracket. You can see if it is empty square bracket, you can say this list doesn't have any kind of data. Okay, it is an example of empty list. Another one, I have given single inverted comma separated by comma. It is a string type of data. Next example, I have given floating type of data. And in last example, I have mixed. In last example, I have mixed all kind of data. Let us have an example. So list is equal to square bracket. Always remember, you must have to follow the square bracket for a list. Square bracket, these are the square bracket. Is it okay? Right. So let us have an data. Okay, let us print. Right, you can see we have printed the list type of data. So this is the way to creating a list. Now we are going to discuss the types of list. First, we will discuss about the empty list. If you want to create a list which is an empty list, you can simply write the variable name lst is equal to empty brackets, square brackets, and you will get it an empty list. This is an example of empty list. Right, you can see we are getting empty brackets. This is called as a empty list. Another way, you can use a list keyword to create a list also. Another type of list is called as a long list. This will contain many elements, more than one element or more elements are available. This is called as a long list. And the last type of list, which is called as a nested list. So dear children, many times we need to store a data in nested form. For example, I have created list is equal to some of the data I have stored 1, 2. Then again I have put a comma. I have again go for this one. I have written some name. Sorry. Separated by comma. And again I have given a comma and I have started another value. Here we have to close this and we have to close one more square bracket. Okay, and we can check it. Let us see. Let us print the list. Now we are getting one more list, which is an example of nested list. But always you have to remember, in another list, inside the list, two elements are there, but it will be treated as a single element only. When the moment you will count it, number of elements, you cannot say 1, 2, 3, 4. You can say only 1, 2, and 3. Right. See, this is an example of nested list. If a list element have itself list called as a nested list. Here the list length is only 5, but it is containing 7 elements. Just now I have explained you that if inside any list is available inside the list, it is treated as a single element only. Right. Now we will learn how to create a list from existing sequence. If there is any sequence, we can create a list. We will discuss here about the string type of data and we can create a list. Right, you can see I have given the variable name A, I have given list and I have given some string. Let us have an example. I have given a variable name, I have given the list, and inside the list I have written something JNVP. Right, I have closed this one and I am going to print A now. Are you able to catch? One element, another element, another element, and another element. This is the way where you can create a list from existing sequence. One more thing you have to remember, the existing sequence method will work with string value only. If you apply with a number value, you will get an error. Now let us see how. For example, I have given a variable. I want to create a string of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I am getting an error. Same time, if the value is written inside the inverted comma, you will not get any error. Even you can easily get it the elements of your recently created list. So I think you understood how to create a list from existing sequence. We can use the string value and we can easily create a list. Example we have already seen. Okay. Right. Now how to access the list element? Just now we learn about the string type of data and we saw the string type of data or character can be accessed through the help of indexing. Same thing is there for list also. When you want to access the list data, you can go for indexing. The first element of your list is on index number 0 and the next element is on index number 1 and so on. Same time you can access it putting the index value. Right. In this session we will see the accessing the index of our list. We will see slicing. We'll find out the length. We will see the membership. We will see the concatenation and replication of our list. Now, right, let us find out the length of the list. Just now I discussed if there is any list inside the list. Just now we discussed if there is any list existing inside the list, it will be treated as a single element only. It will be not treated as a multiple element. Suppose the in between list inside list having the three content, three elements or three values, then it will be treated as a one value only. See, I have given an example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have finding the length. I'm getting result as a 9. You can count it 9 elements are there. This is the length of the given list. In next example, you can see I have given the nested list. Let us have an example. Right, I will write some data here. Okay, let us see. Now we have to find out the length. So we'll write it simple. Right, you can see what result will come. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elements are there and this will be treated as a single element 5 and 6 and 7. So we are getting our result as a 7. This is what I want to explain. A list is nested list is having many lists inside the list, but the lists are treated as a single element only, not an individual elements or individual value is counted. So this is the question. If A is equal to having this value, so what will be the length of this list? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Result will come 9. You can try it with your computer and laptop if you are there. All right. Now let us continue with indexing and slicing of the list. How to display result using index. Same thing is there. We have learned with the just now we learned with a string. Same thing you can use with the list also. You can see A is equal to ABC I have given. Then I want to print the index number 2. Okay, and I'll get it result as a C because A is index number 0, B is index number 1 and C is index number 2. So this is the thing. You can use starting index, you can use AND index also. This is the second example. You can see I have given A, B, C and 1, 2, 3. I want to print 2 colon 6. 2 is the starting point. You can see what is the starting point 2. So C will be display and we are going up to 6. So we'll check it whether we are having this many numbers of values or not. So we'll get it according to this our result. Let us see these examples. LST will give the starting point, will give the end point, and we'll check it the result. We will get this type of result. Again, one more example we will see. Okay, now you can see I'm coming from index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see this entire value is treated as a single value only. Right. Now we will learn about the membership operator like we just now we learned with the string in operator and not in operator. First, I have given the in operator with using some if else condition. I have given if y in A print yes, otherwise print no. So y is available. Yes, it is available. And one more thing, please remember I have given A is equal to list. So this is not a string. This will convert into list. Each individual element will be divided into separate list elements. Right. Now we will learn about the concatenation and replication operator. The plus operator will called as a concate operator and multiplication will called as a replication operator. The plus operator used to join two lists or more than two lists. This is an example I have given. A is equal to 1, 2, B is equal to 3 and 4. I have given A plus B and I am getting result 1, 2, 3, 4. What happened here? What happened here? All the data added together, okay, and another list got created. Right? Have an example. List 1 is equal to some data 12, 13 and LST2 is equal to some data 150, 42 and LST3 has some data. Let us have a string type of data. Right. Now let us apply the concate operator plus operator. So we will write it LST1 plus LST2 plus LST3. Let's see what error will come. And you can see there is no error and all the data got added together and result is displaying with list number 1, list number 2 and list number 3. You can change the sequence also LST3 plus LST1 and you can see this type of result will come. But one more thing you have to remember that data is not changed permanently and this will be displaying like that. So these are the example you can see C is equal to A plus B and we are getting this result. A plus B plus D and we are getting this type of result. So it is very easy. You can use plus operator to join two lists or more than two lists together, elements of the list. Right. So this is a simple question. You can see list 1 is equal to list Python I have given. OK, I have applied this keyword. Again, I have applied this keyword. Then I am using list 1 plus list 2. When the moment I will print it, please try to imagine what result will come. You can see I have applied the list. Each element will be divided into separate parts. So we'll get it result P separate, Y separate and all the values separate and we'll get it this type of result. OK. Right. So this is the next question. In this question, I have given list1 is equal to Python. Please try to understand this entire value python is a single value only. It is not divided into p separately, y separately, t separately, and h separately. Will not divide. And list2, it will divide I separate, it will divide x separate. So we'll get it result Python together, I will be separate, x will be separate. Clear? Right. Next question. You can see in this list I am having Python and JNV as a part of single element. Python is a single element and JNV is a single element. In second list variable I am having the IX class, ninth class, whatever you can say, and I am going to add list3 is equal to list1 plus list2. What result will come? Yeah, correct. The Python will be completely come, comma JNV will be completely come, but the remaining list2 all the element will be separately will come. So finally, you can easily understand the list concate operator. Now we will discuss about the multiplication or replication operator. It will replicate the list. List is equal to, I have given 1, 2, 3. I am applying list multiplication 3. You can see the list got multiplied 3 times. If you will give 5, multiply by 5 times. If you will give any value, any number value, it will be multiply that many number value time. Right, now we will slice the list, extracting the part of the list. This is a list I have given and I am going to slice it 2:5. Index number 2 will be 30 and it will go up to 4. 5 will be ignored as you have already learned in last slides. Same thing is there, like a string. We have to slice it list also. So this is, you can see these are the index value and we are getting according to our index the result. Now we will learn why the list is called as a mutable, because it is possible to update the list data. I am having a list and I am having a value. List is equal to some value, you can see some number value, some string value, some float value, and index number 2 I want to modify with LM. Now I have printed. Now you can see I'm getting result KN 12 and LM. Permanently the data got changed. But in the case of string, it is not happening because it is a immutable. So we can change the data in list very easily and it will be permanently changed. The change will be permanent only. Right, this is the second example I have given. List is a variable name, index number 2, and I'm going to change the value 56.56. Now you can see the value got changed. Now in the next slides, we will learn appending, updating, deleting of a list element or a list data. Right, let us start with appending. Appending means add. We are going to add something in our list. Okay, we can add only a single item and the item will be always added at the end of the list. We cannot add in between the list. To add in between the list or wherever we want to list, we can use some other function. Right, some other method we will use. So dot append will add this 60. You can see list dot append 60 value, some value I have given, and the value will add after 48. You can see. Okay. Let us see. So LST 1 dot append double PND. Okay, what do you want to append? Let us have some value. I want to append. Okay, let us check out the list. All right, you can see previously in my list 1 there is a value which is 12 and 130. Now one more data got added at the end of the list. Always remember, dear children, whenever you want to append the data will always add at the end of the list only, not in between the list or wherever you want. It cannot be added with the help of append function. For that you can use the another function which we will see. So I hope it is clear to everybody how to append the value in a existing list. Again, one more example I have given, list.append, and you can see this data got added. Now we are updating the I'm having list 11, 22, 33, 44 and some values are there, and you have to change the 67 into 66. It means the last value you have to change. For that we will go for the updating function. Right. Now we will learn deleting element from the list. Using del command, you can remove the single or all the element from the list. Okay. Now you can see I am having a list. I have used the del command del and the variable name and the index number. So you can see in the last moment, the 11 and 22 is only the result. The JK, LK got deleted. So if you want to delete it, you can use del with list variable and index number. Now we will discuss some of the list function and the method which we can apply on the list. Okay, you can see this is the list variable dot. You can apply any method, same like a string. When you will when you will type this dot, a huge list of the function or method will come. Same time list also it will be display. You can try it. Let us see the index function. This function will return the index of the first match item or member from the list. First matched item. Please remember first matched item. For example, I have given list.index some item. So this is the list 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and list.index 14. Right? Value I have given. Okay. 14 is available. Yes, it is available on index number 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. What will if the 14 is occurring 2 times? This second example you can see it will display the first occurrence or first match of the item or the value. This is the index function. Right, it will display the index. If the number or item does not exist in the list, it will return error not in list. Sometime we are giving item which is not present in the list. What it will display? It will display not in list, error will come. Okay, so you can see the 56 is not a part of this list. The error will come. 56 is not in list. No other error will come. The simple error will come. Now this is the next function, which is the list.extend function. The list, this function same like a append function, but the append function will add only one item. Just now we discuss append function will add one item at the end of the list. But if you want to add one list with another list, then you can use the extend function. Example is there in front of your screen. List 1 some value, list 2 some value, list 1 dot extend I have given with list 2 and I will get the result 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 6 5 6. This is the result. You will get it on your screen. The actual data will not change for list 2, but for list 1 the actual data will change permanently. That's why the list is called as a mutable. Is it clear to everybody? Right. Now there is a question. Just now we learned append function. We can edit the data at last only. But I don't want to add it at last. I want to add it on some specific place. For that you can use insert method. It is same like a append and extend method. Okay, when the user want to insert the data anywhere in a list, not at the end of the list, then the user can use insert method. The structure is there, list.insert, and the position means index number. On which index number you want to add the value, and you have to put the new value, and you can easily add the new value. For example, lst dot insert, we'll open the bracket, we'll write it the index number. For example, I want to add on it the index number 1, and what value I want to add? I want to add my name. Let us see what error will come. So we are getting error, list object cannot be interchanged as an integer. Okay, let us have another example. lst dot insert, we'll open the bracket, we'll see the same index, and we will write it some number value. Last time we have written integer value there, sorry, string value. Now we have written the integer value. Let us see the error. We are getting again error, list object cannot be interpreted as an integer. Okay, let us come back to the slide to see example. So list.insert. So we have used the same thing. List, sorry, our variable name is not correct. Our variable name is lst1. So we'll write it here, lst1 dot insert. Okay, we will write it the index number. For example, index number is 1. And let us try to add some string value, and let us see. lst1 dot insert 1, index number is okay, value is okay. Again, all right, you can see this is the value AEU. I have given list1 dot insert, index number 2 I have given. Yeah, let us see again, lst1 dot insert, bracket open. I forget that the index number should not be given in a square bracket. Now we are discussing about the pop function. We'll use to remove the item or element from the list and return the removed element as a result. So we are discussing about that one. So let us see, index number 2 we are going to pop, and we will get a result 130. Right, permanent, this is permanently removed from list. See, this is an example, 12 and Krishan and NIOS, and 130 is not available because the 130 is on index number 2. That's why this is called as a mutable. Now, one more function is available, that is called as a remove function. Pop will remove an element whose position is given. What if we don't know the position? Right, if you don't know the element or if you don't know the value, then what to do? Okay, but if you don't know the index position, what to do? So for that we can use the remove function. We will give the list variable name dot remove and the element what we want to remove, and the element got removed. Okay, one more thing, remember the pop function will display the removed the value, but the remove function will not display removed value. Okay, if you have given the remove command and if the data is not existing, then you will get an error, X not in list. This error you will get, X not in list. If the value is not existing, any value whatever you have given, you will get it this type of error, X not in list always. If the value is existing twice, definitely there is a question. Right, value is not existing, value is existing twice, what to do? If the value is existing twice, then you can see how it will work. Suppose I am having the list E is existing twice. Okay, it will remove the first occurrence. The second value will be available in the list. See, EOEU is my list. I have removed the E. First occurrence got removed, but second occurrence is available there. So that you have to remember. This is the next function, which is called as a clear function. This method remove all the item from the list and make a empty list. So you know how to create an empty list. You can create an empty list by giving the square bracket empty. Same time you can create an empty list by clearing all the data from an existing list. So this is an example. List is equal to some value, list dot clear square bracket, and I am getting empty square bracket. Is it clear? So this is the way to clear the list. Right. For if any value is existing in your list and you have given that value, then this will show you error. Right? You cannot remove a single value. It will show you the error in the clear function. Okay, what error will come? It will take no argument, but we have given one argument. Okay, one argument, 21, 22 is a one argument. So we should not give any argument, any value in a clear function. Now let us have a count function. It will count a particular value, how many times that value is occurring. Okay, you can see I am having a list, some value is there 10, and I am going to count 10. It is available in one time. In second example, I have inserted on index number 2, 10. Now I am having 2 times 10. When the moment I will count it 10, I'll get it 2. You can see. Is it clear? Right. Or example is required. Okay. List is equal to some value 10, 20, 10, 20. Let us any kind of value will give. Right. Our list is ready. List dot count will give 10, and we will see it is available 2 times. Is it clear? Yeah, one more thing, if the element is not existing in a list, will result 0. For example, list dot count 50, which is not a part of my list, I'll get it result as a 0. Please remember, this is also one of the question can come in exam. Very simple 1 mark question. Yeah, now we will discuss about the reverse function. If you want to reverse the list item, then you can use the reverse function. On screen it is available. The 10 is coming at the last position, but it is actually in a first position. So you can use the reverse method. You can see this is an example I have given. Now you can see the 10. The last element is coming as a first. It will not change the sequence of, sorry, it will not change the order of data. Ascending, descending order will not done. It will simply reverse the given list data. Now this is the sort function. Now this will change the sequence. Okay. Suppose the 15 is available on the second last position, but when you will sort the data, the 15 will go to the last position because this is the highest value. Is it clear to all of you? In this reverse, there is no change in data. Okay, only the data will be just reverse as it is. But here the data will be changed into the ascending order sort. The data got sorted in increasing order, and 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 we are getting as a result. But actual data is 10, 11, 10 and 15 is coming in between and 14 is coming last. If you want to sort in descending order, that is also possible. For that, a little bit reverse method you have to use. Then only it is possible. First, it will sort it as it is, list.sort. Simply it will sort, but we can use reverse is equal to true. Then the list got reversed. When we will reverse the list, the data will be sorted in ascending order, will convert into descending order. Okay, always you have to write it true in a capital letter. T must be in capital letter. Right. So this is enough for today because the time is not permitting to go for the next topic, because it will take again 20 minutes to complete the next topic, dictionary. If there is any other session will be available, we will continue with the dictionary and we will finish it, and we will go for the advanced programming, and we will see how to obtain maximum number of marks in our CBSE board exam. So thank you very much.